morning again. This is the second session in this room. May I now introduce Locky. He's going to present the paper on secure and practical approaches for GenAI-assisted material creation. Let's welcome him.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming. And yes, so I'm Locky. This is my pretty short presentation on secure and practical, secure and practical approaches for GenAI-assisted material creation. So this is not actually a project, it's not actually a paper, but it's just, I guess, a compilation of my teaching experience and also, everything I know about the journey of reviving a course that I teach in at Hong Kong. So, but let's start with this first. Okay, privacy and security of student data. I'm not sure how many of you are really concerned about this, but in the literature, it is quite a bit of a pressing concern, or at least let's just put it that way. In the paper that I've written, I found that this is a really important aspect that not a lot of the researchers are focusing on. So I know it's a very long chunk, so I'm not going to ask you to read the whole thing. I'm just going to highlight a few points for you. Right. So ethical concerns, right, as we discussed in the few researchers in the scoping review that I've done in back in 2024. But the thing about data privacy and security, okay, and this is general. Really, that's the lack of awareness among the language researchers and educators, right, in general. So, the thing is that teachers may unknowingly introduce seemingly beneficial GenAI programs to students without fully understanding how, let's say, the first-party data, which means that if you're using Google, what Google is doing with your data, if you're using OpenAI, what they are doing with the data. So there's a lack of understanding from the first-party data, rather than the third-party data that is collected and utilized. So, third party would be things like, I guess, POE, you have an aggregator that utilizes or offers you the OpenAI platforms and Microsoft platforms, so that kind of thing. So we go to the next slide. This is an upcoming book chapter that you can pay a little bit of attention to in the future. Basically, too quick. Okay, so basically this paragraph, right? In general, the rapid diffusion of GenAI has left many educators feeling insecure and ill-equipped, and it's described as a sense of finding their footing for the teachers. And a landscape that is changing faster than academic research can document. There are three possible reasons contributing to why teachers are feeling the barrier in this AI preparedness. And of course, I got help from Notebook Helen to give me that very amazing looking pictures. So there are three things, basically. First one is the effective resistance that teachers fear that the AI might be replacing them, all right, and the professional authority. Second one is technical stress, because there are just too many AI programs around, and there's not enough time to actually study them in detail. Finally, the identity conflict is basically, why am I still here? AI can do what I can do. So there's tension between that, like the existence and the identity crisis, as also maybe it's also some clashes between institutional demands for AI enhancing learning. So institutions want you to use more AI, for example. So these are those stress that teachers might be facing. So based on my study, based on my research, then there are a few things that can be done, right? Obviously, one of them is continuous professional development. We all know that. That's why we're all here, right? The other one is institutional support, and we all like to have more support from our universities, saying that we can give more training, we can give you more time, we can give you more resources to familiarize ourselves with the AI tools. All right, and finally, it's the literacy and competence, which is developing the AI competence that we always talk about. So, not things that we don't know, right? Not things that we don't know, but in a way, it's a good summary. So this has to be addressed, right? Just hello, welcome. Okay, but that's not our main topic for today. The topic for today is how to do how do we secure and safe when we're using the AI program. So I'm going to share with you a few techniques that I personally use when I am, let's say, trying to use students' data. Right? First one is obviously the anonymization techniques that I think everybody should know here. Okay, so give me an example. Let's say I've got this market report from a company. Let's say in this case it's a global game market report. So I would like to use this methodology chapter, but I'm just showing 3 paragraphs here. Okay, and we know there's going to be some of maybe privacy issues, or maybe you don't want the students to know exactly you are using this. All right, so you want to modify it. So there are a few ways that we can anonymize this. All right, first of all is removal and masking. Again, this is very simple. Everybody probably know what it is. Original is Voodoo, and graphics card research. So hold on. So that's just like course changing the keywords there if possible. Okay, that's very simple. So there you go. Now we can do course manual text replacement, where you can maybe select a few keywords there and then just scratch it out and change it manually. Okay, so I know it's not very efficient, but it's something that we can try to do at the beginning. And then followed by this very important part, and it's chunking them. So let's say we have 3 paragraphs, we're going to chunk them up, and then we want to feed them into different AI programs. And after that, we get 3 different outputs, and then try to put them back together. Okay? The idea of doing this is first you do the masking, where you take out the most important keywords so that it's no longer easily traceable. And then after that, you do the chunking part, where you're now not going to put everything into those same basket. Okay, so that's like a very, very basic level of support. More secure use of data and use of GenAI program. There are a number of advantages, of course, that I'll explain later. But basically, if you are using a public AI program meaning there's no encryption, it's not very secure, you're using it in a Starbucks Wi-Fi, you probably want to do all 3. Right? If that data is very sensitive, right? We'll do all 3 together, concurrently. All right, that's pretty simple, right? Manageable. But then again, if you have better platforms, like Hong Kong U, we do have some relatively more secure platforms. Your universities might also have their own. So our platform looks like this. And we've got a number of AI programs to be used at the same time. So, and this is end-to-end encrypted. In the sense that it is relatively more safe, but I would still not recommend uploading any sensitive data, confidential data. I would not recommend uploading students' paper up there, even though this is offered by your institution, even though it's end-to-end, because if you know how things work, basically we purchase the credits through API calls. So meaning that every time you call an API, then the AI gets a copy of that, and then it still has to take your input, whether that would be an image or whether it would be a file. It will still be transferred to their server, so it's still going out, right? And therefore, this is not the perfect thing. It's better, but still not the ideal case. So today I'm just going to give you the most secure approach to it. And that's offline AI tools. All right. And this could be very complicated, so I'm just going to make it very simple for everybody. All right, and this is going to be the safest way. So what does it mean by offline? Offline means you can have a program in your computer, you can unplug the wire, disconnect the internet, and you can still use it. All right, so these are the number of more popular offline AI programs that everybody can download today onto your own laptop, and then just after you finish downloading the things, you can just disconnect and nothing will go out. All right, and here are just a few programs. I'm going to pick the easiest one to introduce to you today, and that's the GPT for All program. All right, and this is just the interface, right? It's nothing really special. We'll just tell you can start chatting, local documents if you have anything there, or you find. But obviously, you want to find the right model for yourself for your purpose first. Okay, so you want to explore the model, and then you want to check out which are the models that will fit your needs better. Okay, as for language teachers, most of the models will be okay. All right, but then if your computer doesn't have the hardware capability, the program will tell you. So for example here, this is not recommended for your laptop's hardware because you don't have enough RAM. So you don't have to worry about this too much. It will tell you if you can't download, you don't download. So basically now you download the whole model onto your laptop. Okay? And after that, all right, once you got the model, so now let's say I'm going to download DeepSeek up there, and then here is where you can put your system prompt. The system prompt basically means that you now can customize how your AI behaves. So if you were listening to Professor Hyland's talk, you were saying, the AI in general are not very personalized. Your system prompt here can modify that. You can say, I would like you to be more personalized, more caring, more encouraging. You can give the persona to that AI program so that it intends to behave the way you want it. And if it doesn't work very well, you refine. And if you have a sample, you can give a sample to the AI program in the system prompt and modify the way that it communicates back. So you can basically make this AI program sound exactly like you if your prompting technique is good enough. You can do that. All right. So we go back to this one. Again, the original news report is from Newzoo. We changed it to Voodoo, right? After that, but that was for public AI. For local, offline AI, you don't need to do any of those changes. You don't need to do masking, you don't need to do chunking, you don't need to do the things that I just previously talked about. You don't need to do any of that because this is completely safe. So you can just take the original material, okay? And then first of all, you want to upload that file to now your local platform because nothing is going to the internet. I basically just offline, cut off the internet entirely, and then let AI do the work for me. Alright, so this example, first thing is to ask AI to tell me what are you reading, right? Just to confirm that you are reading what I'm giving you. So a quick example of this, very good. Market segmentation, data collection methods, survey methodology, what are the players. That's exactly the original document in a summary, right? Most AI can do that, but this is now I'm doing it offline. Okay, then I'm going to ask the AI to give me a few more things. Right? If you were to replace the research topic with another completely different one, what could work in this case? So that's the thing, because going back to the original purpose is I like the methodology from this report, but I don't want students to know I'm using this report. I want to change the theme. So, all right, if you were to replace it, what could it be? What could fit? So there you go. If I were to replace the research topic with another one, here are a few options. So e-commerce, digital music, social media, e-sport industry. These are the options that are provided by the AI, suggested for me. And then I go, okay, no, I kind of like the e-commerce market part. Let's pick that one, right? So the next thing is, great, okay, I'm gonna praise the AI for doing a good job, right? Great, all right, we will do that, just that. So please replace the research topic with the e-commerce market and rewrite the given paragraph correspondingly. Thanks. Don't forget to thank, because when the AI apocalypse arrives, it won't kill me first. It will kill the others who are less polite. All right. And so, all right, good. Here's the rewritten paragraph. Now, I don't expect you guys to remember what was originally said, but anyway, we'll just basically take a look. Okay, now everything is now replaced with the e-commerce market. Okay, basically, just that. Nice paragraph. I will later show you a comparison between the original and the revised version. So don't worry about that. Okay, and I'll go, great. Now please paraphrase this revised paragraph, because when I looked at it, it was like, still very much similar to the original. Paraphrase this for me, and this is the one that's a nightmare for most teachers, right? If you're teaching paraphrasing, now AI can do it for you, that's kind of scary. But okay, I'm going to do that anyway. So, avoiding same sentence structures to avoid plagiarism. Of course, we don't want students to plagiarize, we therefore want to also create materials that are not plagiarizing. So here's a paraphrased version of the revised paragraph. So now it's completely different from the original and also from the first draft. Now let's look at this from a linguistically analytical perspective. Okay? The red ones, that's the original version up top. adapted version down there. The red ones correspond to the red ones, and you can give you a few, I guess 20 seconds, 30 seconds to have a quick look at it. We've got time, we've got 5 minutes. Right. But basically you can see that the offline version that I'm using here right now, it's not in any way inferior to the online version. You don't have to worry about any credits things because you're not paying a single dollar or single cent. You're just paying your electricity bill, basically. Everything is running on your laptop. So how much electricity is being used, you're paying for that, just that. But pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. So if I'm going to take the adapted version and then use it in my material, I'm pretty safe, right? Of course, you can still, at the end, you can credit the original source and you say you adapted from this original source, right? But you can actually tell the students after they finish the exercise, after they finish your activity, and then you say, hey, I adapted it from here. So you're not like making everything your own, all right? Okay, pretty awesome, pretty cool. All right. I hope you like that. Okay, so bring back to my experience reviving a course that I teach. It's an English in the Discipline course for final year undergraduate students, and this one is the Industrial Manufacturing Student System Engineering course. So after reviving it, I got the following. Let's say, good functions, the good things I would like to share with you. So, if you use AI or your offline AI, you can actually same method I use. Okay, getting a source, and then you can modify it. You can actually simplify complex subjects into easier ones depending on the level of your students. If your students are not as good, make it simpler. Okay, if your students get better, you can even make it more difficult for the students. So, with this approach, you can adapt to students' level. And you don't have to rewrite it manually, right? Because you can imagine if you rewrite a few versions manually, that's just going, that's crazy. So teach the nuance of tones. If you are an English teacher, want to look at how tones are different, you can also ask AI to modify, change versions, make it different tones, so that it can sound different. And I also like doing this because you can either force the students. I wouldn't say it's cheat-proof assignments, but at least you're actually asking students to put in more effort into reading maybe different versions of it, maybe reading the versions that you tailor-made for them. So they cannot just simply go online and then upload the document and then ask AI to summarize for you and answer all the questions directly, right? Because they can do that very easily. But with your version, they need a bit more input and cognitive input to that. So you can rewrite source text to ensure students must analyze the provided material. And this is the one that I love best, is that you can actually create safe practice materials while you actually wanted flaws in the samples. Because the thing that is really good about maybe downloading reports is that it's perfect, but it's also a bad thing, because if it's so perfect, then how am I going to inject the flaws and mistakes so that the students will have to look into them and locate them and find them and discuss and learn from the mistakes, right? Because there are no mistakes. So with this approach, because you either use the online version and you say, change it so that it's not going to be a perfect fit, to be honest, right? So from the gaming to e-commerce, something is not going to click. Something's not going to click, and you want that. You want things that don't click. All right. If you are going to use the chunking method, right, the AI1, AI2, AI3, because they are different AI, they lack the context between the paragraphs. When they merge together, there are going to be some disconnections, and you want the disconnections because you don't want anything perfect. Otherwise, what's the point, right? There's no challenge for students. So actually, those are actually very good things. And at the end of the day, it's like either you can provide all the versions to different students, so that they can pick the ones that they feel most comfortable with, the version that they feel most comfortable with, and let's say the beginner students, once they can handle the beginner level, they can then take the intermediate level the intermediate level students can take the advanced level student, the paragraph. So they can look at the 3 different samples of the same paragraph and compare and learn from these differences. So they can see where they fall into, right? Which level they fall into. So there's a lot of possibilities and also practicality in the chunking method or offline methods. Again, you can do it in a secure way and also and also effective. So these are my students' comments, just sharing some of them with you. Yeah, sound pretty good. And they're all very happy, basically, with the course and the materials that I've developed. Okay, so here's the conclusion, very quickly. All right, we've got the offline programs. Some of them you can go home and test them out after this conference today. Go home, try it out. The GPT-4 is the easiest one to handle. Obviously, if your institutions has the platform, use that. But still, remember, it's not going to be perfectly secure. If you're using public AI or Starbucks Wi-Fi, you want to use all of them concurrently, if possible. Right, that would be the best. And here are the things that you can do with either public AI or offline AI, and some ideas for you. Also, of course, something that I've also tried out in my course, material design. And then that's basically it. So the final sentence that I have for you, again, just to round up, is that every teacher should serve as the first line of defense to ensure that students understand the concept of what they pay before what they get. And that's very important because when they use AI, they're losing something. They're losing their privacy. They're losing their writing. So make sure that you are the first person to defend them from that danger first. And you have to know how to use secure AI, or just at least a better way to use AI. All right. So that's it. Thank you very much. And these are my references. Or some of the papers I've written recently about AI in education. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So we have about 4 minutes for Q&A now. Question there? Hi.
Thank you very much for your
occupational hazard. So I'm the IT guy for the conference today.
Hi, and thank you very much for your talk. I have a question about local LLMs. I have used some small ones, and sometimes they can be less reliable or not as smart as the commercial ones. Could you give a bit of more information on what kind of tasks are local LLMs good at?
Thank you for your question. Okay, that's actually very accurate. Local LLMs are less great than the big ones, the big 3, big 4 public ones, because, well, you're running your AI, number one, on your laptop, right? So it's not going to be as fast, it's not going to calculate as much. The second thing is the AI programs that you can download, they are called quantized models. So quantized models means they're basically zipped and compressed. A lot of the things that are, the parameters have been truncated, removed. If they're like too big, you can't run it on your local. So that's why there's a difference. But if you are able to, again, if you think about the chunking part, if you're able to chunk let's say a very long text into shorter ones, because in the public ones, the online ones, you just dump the whole file, 600 pages. They have no problem. This one, maybe you want to give 1 or 2 pages at max. So by doing that several times, okay, you can still get the results that you want, but you would not expect to upload the whole file or the whole document. That won't work. So first thing you need to do is shorten it, give them small bits, small parts, and then it will still work well. And particularly important again if you want to reuse students' exemplars, right? Because all the students wrote very well, but I cannot just copy and paste that student's work. That's privacy, whatever. So chunks, okay, masking, all the 3 techniques, do all of that, and then offline AI, small parts, and you can still get pretty good results from there. I wouldn't say not good. It will still be satisfactory level if you can do that part. And the other one, I forgot the activity. You were saying.
I would say what kind of tasks would local LLMs do that?
Oh, the task would be the ones that I just sort of show. So yeah, so these are the tasks that I
Paraphrasing?
So these are the tasks I tried in my class. All of them, basically all of them. I tried all of them, and they all work very well. They all work very well. So these are just basically like go for it. So try it out in your own class. If they're relevant, give it a go. So they all work pretty well with either the offline AI or a combination of the masking, chunking plus offline all together, and it all work pretty well. Yeah. My students love this one the most because they were like, because basically I changed that, the e-commerce, I made it more specific. I actually changed it to Food Panda. I actually changed it to Food Panda. So and they were saying, that's not quite possible, doesn't really fit, because how can the budget be that big, for Food Panda? And they start getting into, questioning the tax critically. They're like, because they are in system engineering. Like, that's not possible. That's not possible. That doesn't work very well. Something is wrong. And then after they finish the activity, I go, that's why. I give you reasons, because they are actually not taken from the original Food Panda market report. So that's that. Yeah.
Okay, I'm afraid that's all the time we have. It's tea break now. If you have further questions, you can come forward and speak with Locky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.